Hello and welcome to another video in my tutorial series. So we are doing the Web API.NET basic series here, and as always, please go ahead and follow me on GitHub, visit my website, and obviously if you have any questions, don't forget to email me. Right then, this is the third part in my Web API.NET series. So as always, I hope you have watched and practiced the one in the previous video. So here I am going to talk about a very quick usage of Visual Studio, and here I'm only, as I told you, there's a couple of projects that we are going to build, and these are the main things that you need to know before you can participate in this tutorial series. The main thing is, let's go ahead and do that. So in Visual Studio, for the purpose of this series, we will be creating a lot of console projects. Now why is that? I'll tell you why. See, whenever I'm learning something new, okay, let me give you an example. So let's say I am trying to learn how to translate text. Okay, so now what I do, I will go online, okay, and I will say Azure Translator Service. Okay, so just an example. This is something this is actually part of one of my demo project that we'll be building in this series. So I'm going to go to, okay, I'll end up on the Microsoft Learn website. As I already mentioned, I love Microsoft Learn. If I go to my profile here, you'll see that I have lots, almost every week. Look at that, I got like 122 badges, and every day I am constantly going there and just learning new things all the time. Okay, I have 23 trophies, how 122 badges, all kind of things. So anyway, coming back, so yeah, we go here, and then what happens is, almost in everything you want to do with .NET, everything you want to do with Azure, there's always a couple of text translation, quick start, and stuff like that. Okay, so I have your a text translation. Let's go ahead and click here, text SDK preview, and there are all these options. So I'm going to use Visual Studio, and if you scroll down, they'll always say, okay, set up your project, console app, click on project, blah 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 blah, and then there it is, and that's it. And you know what, so many times, all I need when I'm doing something new, whether it is for tutorials or teaching, doing commercial work for a client. I mean, I'm a freelancer, I'm a coding tutor, and I don't have a job or anything. I've been doing this for 12 years. So where am I going to learn? See, when you're working in an office job or something, you have an entire ecosystem. Your job will teach you everything you want to learn. Like, if you learn from your colleagues, you learn from your project manager, you learn from company training. But for me, I'm a freelancer. I have to take care of my own learning. It's not a complaint, I'm just explaining it. So yeah, so at the end of the day, whatever you're trying to do, being able to use the console project is where you start your journey. So like right now in my demo project, I added translation service. Where do I start my journey? I start in a console project. So in Visual Studio, let's go ahead and fire it up. Now, obviously, I've already done this in previous videos, but just for the sake of completion, now I wouldn't call myself a completionist. I don't think anyone who knows me would ever say that I'm a completionist, but I am what you might call an essentialist, if that is a word. Okay, so console project, let's go ahead and do that. Click on that, and here go to Windows. I'm on Windows, but if you want, you can select Mac and select console. There are two options. This is the old one, this is the one we want. Click next, and then as always, I'm going to go to desktop. I'm going to create a folder called temp delete. You always need to know, folder organization is a fundamental skill of any developer or even a regular person. You gotta organize your folders, because you never know when you might need something, and years might have passed when you want to find something. But if you manage some basic folder etiquette with namings and organization, you're always never going to get lost. Okay, I have incredible and almost obsessive folder management skills, and it has saved me personally and professionally on so many occasions. So anyway, temp delete. Today it is September 23, 2024. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this folder, give whatever name you want, like showing console for video recording, why not? And then I'm just going to say click next, and .NET 8 is what I'm using, right? So okay, I do like to snack when I'm working. Okay, there we go. That's it. Build, rebuild. And then run. Now we have already used console project in our previous videos, but I'm just for the sake of completion. So there we go. So that's the console project. So you should absolutely know how to create a console project before the beginning of this tutorial series. And the next thing is you also need to know how to create a Razor project. We are using Razor now, as I have mentioned already. This isn't a UI course. Okay, I myself, I'm not even a decent UI developer. I know the basics just enough to get my job done. I am primarily a .NET and Azure tutor and developer. So no front end for me. Just the basics though. You still need to know some basics. So for that part, I love Razor. Razor is a old technology. It uses the very old school way form based technology. We used to have this thing called Windows Forms or something. I think it's based on that. Although I haven't worked extensively on Windows Form, but Razor Page is kind of like a little bit modern. It's not too modern, but what I've found out is a lot of places use Razor Project. It's very good for proof of concept and learning and all that. And once you do this, when you apply for a job, an internship, you focus on the .NET backend skills, you show the output on the Razor. And then if you want to, you can always complement your .NET skills by learning React.js or AngularJS or Vue.js. It's really up to you. But for the purposes of the training, Razor project is amazing, and it uses simple Bootstrap, very simple usable syntax, and it's very nicely integrated with C#, so your existing C# skills will be very handy on your front end as well, and that part is golden. So let's go ahead and create a Razor project. Once again, I'm going to go to file. So now make sure you're able to follow along and repeat these steps on your computer, because we will be doing this in the future things when you start building projects. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to select web. And there are many options here, and I want ASP.NET Core. And there is also something called Blazor. We are not using Blazor, we are using Razor. I think Blazor is like Razor plus something with B. But we are not using that. Maybe someday in the future I might make a tutorial series on Blazor as well. But as of now, I am happy with Razor. I'm gonna stick with it. So click next. Okay, let's call this Razor for video recording. And here we go. Next. Authentication type, everything just leave it as defaults right now. Okay, whatever we want, we can add it later. So there you go. There's Razor. You can see MVC. It has like pages. This is actually a Razor without the controller. I don't think this is what I wanted. Let me just try that again. I want ASP.NET Core MVC. I want MVC. I don't want this. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna search for MV. This is what I want. See how easy it is to get confusing, huh? We want the MVC version. We're using MVC architecture for our web app, so please use that one. Once again, Razor with MVC for recording. I do like to take a few seconds to write proper names. It does slow things down, but it is worth the time. There we go. This is what we want. So models, views, controller. Wow, what an amazing, simplistic, maybe even old, but very functional technology. So let's go ahead and build, rebuild, and then let's run. And hello, welcome to ASP.NET Core with MVC. I love it. I totally am in love with the whole MVC system. I know it's the most logical concept there is. Wow, so logical. Okay, let's keep going. So there you go. Make sure you have your MVC Razor project creating thing working on your machine. Next thing is, of course, we'll be building a lot of APIs. So once again, let's go ahead and quickly do that. So again, hopefully you're doing the same thing along with me. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to select web API. So there is the native AOT. We are not doing that. We're doing the first one. So click next. Once again, let's go and call this web API for recording. Now web API is obviously MVC, so I don't have to worry about getting confused there. Again, these are all things, leave it at defaults. Just to be on double sure, sometimes they change these things. Okay, this all looks good. You can build APIs with Azure Functions as well, so that will also come up in the future, but for now we'll use the local development web API. So once again, build, rebuild, and then click start. There you go. Swagger, we'll talk about Swagger later, right? Okay, then let's go back here. NuGet packages, right? Now let's go back to this project. So what happens in .NET, like any other platform, framework provides you an option to use libraries developed by Microsoft as well as third-party developers to use in your project. So for example, you can see all the installed projects here. There's a lot of stuff. Okay. Now, a lot of times we end up working with JSON and Newtonsoft. We'll talk about JSON and objects and, deserializing and serializing. We'll come to that. So let's say I'm trying to do some serialization and deserialization in my project. Maybe I have to send something to the view, or from the view I have to accept something which is coming in as a JSON string, and I want to convert that to C# or something. So I'll go here and I'm going to say Newtonsoft. It's already there. I've been using it a lot. So there you go. So this is a package that I want to use. So I'm going to select it and click install. You'll get like an agreement and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and apply, and I'm gonna just it's all done. There it is. So it's now added to your project. If I go here and go to properties, hold on, yeah, I think there's something here, edit project file. There we go. You can see here that Newtonsoft has been added to your project. So we do frequently add whatever project we need, whatever package we need for that specific project. So you should be very good at adding NuGet packages. Now remember, there are many ways to do this step. There is another way, like for example, there's something called Package Manager Console right here at the bottom. If you don't see it, go to Tools and then go to the command line. Oh, not the developer command prompt. We'll use that as well, but not right now. But we are using NuGet Package Manager Console. So if you don't already have it in the bottom, just go ahead and get it from Tools. So we'll be running using Package Manager Console as well. Now, why is Package Manager Console necessary? Now, we are using Entity Framework VF Core. So when you're using EF Core, you have to run a lot of EF Core commands. Now, those commands have to be executed from the Package Manager Console. So that is why you should be familiar with where the Package Manager Console is. And as I mentioned, if you want to add NuGet packages, you can directly add a command, but I'm not a very command heavy kind of person. Once again, I am a beginner, entry level, target student type tutor. So I focus on, what do you call, ease of use, rather than speed. I'm not going for speed here. A lot of time, like this video is going on for 12 minutes and I'll keep ranting for another so many minutes. Sometimes I ramble on for something else. So I'm not exactly what you might call a speed oriented person. I like to do things, in an ease way. So I don't mind right clicking here. There are developers who would argue that, hey, what, just it's already there. Just go and type the command and get it done. Nothing wrong with it. If that's the way you prefer, go for it. But for my students, I would say using the GUI is a good option. Nothing wrong with it. So go ahead, install, manage packages. It'll take a few extra seconds, but it is fine. We are not going for speed. We are going for knowledge here. So it's fine. It is worth it to go slow here. So there you go. That's about the main things you need to know about Visual Studio. These are all the things I will be doing a lot during the tutorial series as I build our demo projects, and hopefully you'll practice and revise these things, get really good at this so that when we start building the project, these steps will not confuse you. So I'll see you in the next one.